You will never believe what happened after these two matched on the show. Because just few days after they matched, this man started to play with this lady's heart so much that it made her cry almost every single day. Watch till the end before you make a judgment.
Okay, so there's two guys left. You got to hear a little bit. They got to ask you questions, but I am now going to have you pop a balloon.
Okay.
All right. So why did you have your balloon unpopped?
Well, I like that she's a singer because I love karaoke. I like
Karaoke.
I like just some of her goals and like 5-year plan she had, and I just really wanted to hear her out just because I feel like looks is only surface level, so it's all about personality.
It is.
Okay. And why'd you end up popping his?
To be honest, I didn't think. I think I liked his vibe a little better.
Okay.
I kind of like the tech world, so I was interested in that. But I do love that we share a lot of things in common in terms of having a musical sense, and then also you talked about being passionate about community service and helping others. So I love that, but I think I just resonated well with him.
Yeah, he was cracking more jokes.
I'm a joker too, so that worked.
I can't blame you. Can't blame you.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'll have you stand over there. I'll bring you on up here. All right, y'all. Any final questions before we determine if this is a match? If you don't have one, that's okay as well.
You said 4 kids. No kids
thinking about
now. LA,
LA.
California.
Yeah. Where are you?
I live here.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in Scottsdale. So that's a
Not
little
bad. It's
commute.
not bad.
All right. What if I say it's 75-20, 60-40, 70-30 commute? As far as like, that's good?
Oh yeah, like okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You
But
70?
I'm the 70.
Okay.
No, wait, hold up.
I love it.
Oh,
No,
you're
no,
the
no,
70.
no, no, no.
Okay. All right.
I'm willing to work with you.
Okay, that's cool. No, I'm cool.
You're good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. So, is it a yes for you for her?
Yes.
And is it a yes for you for him?
Yes.
We got a match! I'll take the mic, and you guys can go on
They
up.
looked like the perfect match, but their catch-up will completely break your heart.
Since you guys ended up matching, have you gone on a date?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When was the date? Was it the same day, next day? Tell me all about it.
It was the day after.
We got coffee. Do you remember the name of the place?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
We got we went and grabbed coffee. It was over there in like that Biltmore area.
Nice.
So it's kind of like in between where I was coming from and where she was staying at.
Okay. So how was that? How was the coffee date?
I thought it was a good time. I mean, we sat there for like three hours. I don't know. It was a long time. But we were just talking. It was a little different because this conversation was more like, oh, we just matched, and there was almost like a bit of seriousness to it, like questions that I wasn't typically like asking or information that I was even looking for. And I think that's kind of why it was longer too than just like a typical, like quick interaction, an hour or something like that. But I got to know her, and it was the same energy that she kind of had on the show. I thought she was pretty cool, and yeah, that's what she kind of just reinforced that belief.
Okay. Nice. How was it for you, Kyla?
So, during our date, honestly, I felt like we talked about so much, like you said, we talked about a lot of things that weren't just surface level. We talked about deeper things. It was very intentional and just something that I really appreciated at the time. We talked about communication styles. We talked about our likes, our dislikes. We talked about our hobbies. Of course, work a little bit more, our families, the family dynamic, what we had going on. Everything felt natural. Our chemistry was there.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think one thing that kind of threw me at first was that he said that he didn't believe in God and that he just followed himself. And so I was kind of thrown because I'm like, well, because, we're talking about religion, but I'm like, dang, that's something I wish I would have said on the show.
Right, yeah.
But I do know that I've had my own journey in finding my love for God and, finding my way. So I didn't want to, slight him for his decision. I wanted to see kind of where his mind was at, um,
Yeah.
and just see if we could make it work either way.
Yeah, yeah.
Reservations about that. But like you said, we spoke for a long time. Actually, it was 4 hours because we started at 12 and we ended at 4.
Okay, so once you left, you got home. How was
Mhm.
the communication from that point on? Did you guys talk, FaceTime, message? How's everything?
Yeah, so let's see, right off the bat, that was what, like a Sunday. And then yeah,
Hmm.
so then we were talking and then we were kind of going over like how we like to talk, kind of what she was mentioning. I like audio messages because I just think they're a little more, you get the tone.
Yeah,
You kind of, it's way more expressive than just like a text because texting can come off like you just have no idea how the person is saying it.
exactly.
So that's
Yeah.
what we were doing. We were sending audio messages, and that like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know I was probably pretty responsive during those days
Hmm.
because I just work from home, so it's super easy for me to listen to a message and get one out.
Yeah.
And then like Thursday came around, and I have a couple jobs. Like all I do is work, and that was another thing that we talked about too over coffee. Was like schedules and kind of how things would even work out.
Hmm.
But then I go into like I work all Thursday, and I'm trying to get to the gym, and then like that's my whole day, and then Friday work, Saturday work, Sunday
Hmm.
work. So that's when I definitely got less responsive, and that was probably the first time when I didn't respond for like it might have been like 2 or 3 days. It might have been 3 days because I think she got on me. She said she
You
was
didn't
like,
reply for 3 days?
yeah. So yeah, that was not cool on my part.
What?
But I just get busy and I don't want to talk to anybody, and I just kind of go into like that mode where I'm
Okay.
just all about work, work in the gym, and then just my dog.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and then I finally responded to that. Um, and then at that point, it just felt like for me, I don't know how deep you want me to go, like in this little bit.
Let us know everything. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, okay. So when that happened, I don't know what kind of like switched with me, but it was just like, maybe I don't want to like not that it's too much effort for me because that's kind of unfair to say.
Hmm.
Um, but it was just already becoming like a challenge for me just to even be responsive. And it's not
Yeah.
like something that's 1000% new. But it just really depends on what I got going on. So then
Okay.
I finally responded to that, and then she kind of got on me about that one. And then at that point, I was just trying to consider like how where I wanted to go with it, or also what was actually happening is I was replaying our conversation over and over again over coffee because I'm
Hmm.
like I'm trying to weigh like okay, um, is this feasible? Is this something that is this a relationship that that can thrive and like flourish? And I was just going over everything, just kind of like making a list in my head. And it got
Hmm.
to a point where I was like, I don't really know. And then that's when I kind of, it was between work and then that. And then I was like, I don't know. And then when she got on me about not responding, I was still like thinking about it. And then that was kind of when it was for me. I was like, all right, I'm going to tell her how I feel about all this. And then I probably responded a few days again after that with that information.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'll just kind of cut it right there.
Okay. So you said this is not the first time this has happened. So your communication skills have been a problem in the past. Is that what you're
It's
saying?
it's not even just communicating because I mean I know how to communicate. It's not a
Hmm.
matter. It's almost like, do I want to put forth the effort to communicate, and then my
Okay.
availability just in general. Just because I do work a lot. I mean,
Hmm.
like today, even when the night out after the show got postponed, it was because
Hmm.
I got home and I was like, I don't know why I told anybody that I was about to leave my house again because I got to work in the morning. I was like, I gotta go
Uh,
work. I gotta work in the morning, and then like even planning the coffee date was around work and like squeezing that in, even though it was 4 hours of squeezed in.
mhm.
I'm still managing, work at the same time. So it really just
Okay.
becomes like availability. But yeah, I mean, I know how to communicate. I know how to use words, but it's just a matter of,
If you want to.
yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Kyla, How was it? He said times about the whole, him getting back to you and stuff. What was
Mhm.
said? How was that making you feel?
I will say the voice messages were very intentional. I keep stressing that word because I think that's what keeps replaying in my head, the intentionality of this whole thing and how consistent it started off.
Hmm.
Um, and so we were super consistent with that. We talked about the schedules. We talked about him possibly coming to visit me based on his schedules during the week
Yeah.
would be better. And yeah, he even, we talked about things like my sorority. He talked about how he even research on my sorority.
Ah.
And that's how into me, I guess I was getting that he was.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like just even taking the time out to learn about me, learn about what I like, what I don't like, and
Hmm.
vice versa. I'm trying to learn about him as well. And so yeah, we were super consistent, and then eventually he just ghosted me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, for
What's
everyone
going
in the
on?
yeah, for everyone in the world, when you get ghosted, it's kind of like, okay, something's wrong.
Hmm.
So the first day, completely disappeared, did not say a word. The second day, did not say a word as well. However, I was feeling like, well, maybe the man is in the hospital. Maybe he's sick. Like he has to be
There
because
has
how
to be a reason.
yes, how do you go from being super consistent for some time and then an abrupt stop,
Mm.
So, taking my pride out of it, I was like, let me just reach out to him, see if he's okay. So I reached out to him. I asked him, hey, hope all is well. Are you okay? He answers right back. Like, this is the time when you don't answer, but he answers right back. And he's like, hey, sorry, just super busy. I'm alive though. I've been super
Oh
busy, but I'm
man.
gonna respond back to your voice message tomorrow when I get in the office. So I
Okay.
said, okay. Well, actually, I didn't even respond because what do I need to say to that? So
Mm.
then the next day comes, seeing if he's going to follow up. Not one word. Not one word. We went from morning to evening. Not one word. The next
Okay.
day after that comes, and then he sends a voice message later on in the day.
Mm.
Um, and he basically just stated that he had been busy, he thought about me, but he just had a lot going on, and he was doing different things. He had to get a gym lift in, he had to go for a, what is that, a fitting for a suit. Like, to me, it was things that if I was being if I was about someone, I would make time for them.
Mm.
And he just said, I grabbed some food to eat. I went out with whoever he went out with. He kind of grazed over that. Um and it was just like, yeah, I thought about you and I was gonna respond, but I just didn't. And
Mm.
so, the origin of the message was just super um insensitive to me. And then he started deflecting, talking about a Waymo that he took, and he it was just a great experience for him, and it was a time he had. Meanwhile, I'm I'm in limbo, like trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
So, but anyways, I responded the next day, and I told him that, well, again, I'm glad that you're okay, you're alive, but
Hmm.
I'm kind of concerned about that because if you kind of disappear on somebody that's supposedly you're working towards something with, and we're
Hmm.
long distance, I mean, that was made very clear on the show.
Yeah.
It kind of was a red flag. It kind of told me that something was wrong, like deeper than what he was telling me. um and I felt like, honestly, it was either something else or someone else, because that's the only thing that made sense to me. So
Yeah.
from that day, after I responded, he took 7 days to then respond back. And so when he responded back, he lied and said it was because he said it was because he doesn't talk to somebody, he doesn't talk to people every day, and
Mm.
he just, life was just going on. But then later on, as he's continuing talking, he says, well, actually the real reason is because I just feel like when we talked about kids, it was one of those things where you said that you wanted them sooner than I would have wanted them. And verbatim, when we talk, I want to go back to the point of the kids. When we talked about kids, he asked me when I wanted kids. I told him, because I was very clear on the show, I wanted 4 kids, but I told him when, because I'm doing my singing career right now, I got a lot going on, and I'm sure he does as well. I'm not looking for a kid tomorrow. I'm not looking for a kid within the next 2 to 3 years. I said, I don't want kids until after 30 years old.
Okay.
He says, yeah, okay, that's cool. I could work with that. He said, but I want kids maybe like 3 to 4 years from now. And, again, we went through the whole timeline of marriage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I said that was fine. But then on his voice message, he says, well, actually, I don't want kids till I'm 35 and I'm 30. So like you lied in person and said, 3 to 4 years was good for you. And you never told me anything about, oh, I'm feeling some kind of way about, your timeline on kids. And that was a simple thing that we could have communicated about and kind of cleared up, because again, like, I'm not ready to be a mom. That was hence why I said I didn't want someone with kids, because I'm not ready to be a stepmom or a mom right now. So I felt like that was an excuse that he used.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I felt like the whole message, he was joking. And he's yawning, he's joking. He thinks this is funny. And the whole time it's playing with my feelings. But he was super airy, emotionless, cold. After that voice message, I cried. Like I genuinely cried, because I felt like he was playing with me. And I was serious about this from the beginning. And I just did not appreciate that.
Okay. All right. So, Dev, what do you think it was that kind of clicked? Like, do you have anything specific that clicked in your head that made you realize I don't really want to put any more effort towards this?
Well, my timeline for kids has always been like the same for like the past few years. And it's always been like 5 years from now, or 6 years from a year ago, or 7 years from before that. And I could have sworn, maybe I just misremembered that, but I thought she told me she wanted to start having kids in about 2 years. So I was like, 5 years, 2 years, that's pretty different. Like, that's fairly significant. Not to mention, my timeline won't shift up. It'll only shift further away.
Okay.
So then it's like, now you're talking like even more time. And I just felt like I just knew I wasn't going to budge on that. Like, I mean, I've been told I'm stubborn, but I knew I wasn't going to budge on that note. So I didn't want it to be like a point of contention down the line. So it's just like, that's pretty significant. And that's like, it felt like enough of a reason to be like, all right, yeah, maybe this isn't something that we would pursue or that we should pursue. And that's always like something that I'm always aware of. Just like, okay, when is your timeline of having children? And I just didn't want her to keep delaying because I wasn't there yet. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if I misremembered that, but that was like a significant point amongst it all. I mean, there's like little things too, but it's just like that was the most significant. It's just like, I think that's a good enough reason.
Okay.
But so what were the little things? I guess because I'm
she
confused.
feels like she's in the dark, basically.
Yeah, not hearing
Fair.
anything but that kids, especially when we talked about kids in person. And again, like, I just can't help but stress the fact that there were no reservations on your end. I didn't see anything, any frustration, anything. You even told me you wanted to name our daughters Angela and Victoria. Like, we're talking about kids' names and whatnot. And for you to then throw that back and use that as a reason where, oh, well, you want them a little quicker, when I never came off it, I need kids tomorrow. I don't know if you were scared by the whole 4 kids thing, but you expressed that you wanted 3 kids and what was one more. So there's no way you could have been thrown off by 4.
No, it wasn't the number or anything.
Or what else could it have been?
Yeah, I guess she just wants to know what were the little things? You said there were some little things. What were those little things?
Real quick, those names for kids are just like names that I have in my head. Like, it was not, I didn't want it to come off like I would never start a conversation like that. that early to be like, this is what I want to name our children. I just would.
So do you understand this is what I'm going off of? You did.
No, I brought it up. Like, these are names that I like for sure. And then we were talking about names that we liked or like didn't like. Okay, I get how it can be perceived as that. That's fine. And then I didn't want religion to be a thing in the future either. Just because it's just when she told me that she thought about like mentioning that on the show, or at least the person that she matched with, she kind of decided that she was okay if they were not religious, but not okay if they were like of a different religion. And I just felt like she was kind of sacrificing with that. And I was just thinking about the dynamic of having children and having one parent that is religious and then one that is me, who, like, I just don't know how you go about that time when it's like, all right, let's pray, or we do something like that. And it's just like, all right, am I going to be involved in like every situation, acting like this is what I do? Or am I like, I just don't take part in this? And then now it's like, okay, why doesn't dad do this? And why does mom do that? So it just seemed like another point where it was just like, oh, that's just something difficult or an obstacle to overcome in the future. And we're just not at a point yet where I'm like, oh, I want to go forward and overcome that obstacle in the future, just because it is so early in the relationship. And then another thing is, I'm a big fitness person. Like, right after this call, I will be going to the gym 7 days a week.
Wow, 7. That's a lot.
Yeah, with my schedule and things like that. So I squeeze it in as much as I possibly can. And I asked her, like, what was her gym regimen and things like that. And it just wasn't like to me, it didn't come off as like a significant aspect in like, your day to day. So to me, it was just like, all right, like, it's not even just the gym, but I think about the future, and I want to be attracted to my wife forever until I die. And I feel like the gym is a huge part of that and like maintaining, that physical attraction and things like that. So for me, it was just like, okay, sure, it would be way easier to like get somebody on board like my regimen if they're here. It's a little more difficult, with the distance, because like what typically happens is you just kind of follow along each other. It's like, okay, you see me going to the gym. It's like, okay, now I want to go to the gym. And it just kind of works out that way. But since, that distance exists, it's just another obstacle.
Okay, so did you miss the part that I said I dance at Debbie Allen's Academy
No, for sure. I know you do that.
in the fitness? So like, because I kind of felt that going towards, in the future, I might not be attracted to you. Like, did you miss the part that I am physical? It may not be the gym, so to speak, but dance is a form of physical fitness as well. Like, did you miss that part?
No, for sure. I believe that, but it's just like, I just know it's like gym, yoga, Pilates is like where I go when I'm like, all right, staying in shape. I'm not saying that you can't stay in shape from dancing. It's just like, it's also something that I'm not also involved in. So it's not necessarily a disconnect, but it's just not something that we kind of are in sync about.
So you're saying you would have preferred someone who you guys can have that in common? Like you can go gym together? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, because if you don't, I will like make note of like the fact that I'm going to the gym. Not in like, I don't want to say like, well, like when it comes to squats or something like that, it's like, oh, I will make a comment if you don't do something like right, just because it's like, I'm trying to encourage you to like get on board that aspect. But yeah, no, like the gym is like, I want like, I love that.
So I guess the crazy part about it is, why didn't you ask me if I was open to going to the gym with you? Like you never, what I'm hearing now was never expressed. Like little do you know, my family owns a gym. My dad and my brother are bodybuilders. That I've grown up in the gym.
Mhm.
So for you to kind of just not even ask and assume that I wasn't open to the gym and kind of just sideswipe me with that, to me that's just shallow. It's very shallow.
Well, it's not about being open to the gym. It's just the fact that you just said it. It's like, would I be willing to go to the gym with you? But it's like that aspect is just that distance creates that disconnect and makes that so much harder.
Okay.
So, what was the last thing that was said between the two of you? Like, how did this come to an end officially?
So, it was the message that he sent me, a week later, and I never responded. The message, I believe, was very cold. Again, very insensitive, very emotionless. He was laughing, yawning. He thought it was a joke. He thought the entire thing was a joke. And I just, honestly, I just concluded that it seemed like I was just something to do, because when we talked about exes, and he expressed that his last ex in 2023 was just something to do for him. And, she was just convenient. So that's why it lasted as long as it did. So I figure if he could do that in a real relationship with someone, then who am I? Like, who am I? Um, and it also felt like him disappearing was him talking to somebody else, either an
Mm,
ex or somebody.
okay.
But yeah, I
So,
like that. He at the end he made a comment about, well, I'll just see you on Instagram. So I
okay.
left it right there.
So, Dev, sending that message, was that you kind of putting an end to it on your end, or?
Yeah, I mean that was the point of the message.
Okay.
One thing about the yawning, I probably yawned in every single voice message I ever sent her. So I don't
Yeah.
want her. I don't want it to sound like I went out of my way to like sound like I didn't care at all, because that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I am very relaxed, even when I'm talking about something fairly serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of the way I am. So I didn't want it to come off that way. I didn't want it to come off where to the point where it hurt you, like the way you have expressed that. That wasn't my goal or my intention at all. But yeah, that was the point of that message. And yeah, honestly, I just didn't know how. I didn't know what to say. Just
Mm-hmm.
like, see you around, like no, like, and then yeah, I just kind of tagged that on there. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't think she's wrong with, I guess, my tone in that message, because that is typically how I am. But yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to hurt you like that at all. I also didn't realize not the severity, but I guess there was a difference in how serious we were at each point, like the level of seriousness we felt each about the relationship. I didn't know you were where you were. So yeah, I'm sorry. I would have approached that a little. I would have approached that completely differently, had I known that. So I do apologize for that.
I I hear you say like we weren't at the same level emotionally, but that's not what you conveyed to me. Like it I just wish y'all could have lived it with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't make this up. He did most of the work in terms of like being super consistent and intentional, and the questions he asked were very like, I want to get to know you. I want to move forward with you. I want to build a future with you.
Mm-hmm.
So to say that I was a little further emotionally is it's like so far from the truth, because you were attracted. You said that you were interested. Um, you were you were just super in with me. So how you're conveying it now is as if, well, I was just going with the wind, but you weren't going with the wind. You told me certain things. You expressed how you felt, and we talked about deeper things that, like you said, aren't just surface level. They aren't just normal conversations. So that means something to someone, and whether or not it meant something to you, that's something I didn't know. I didn't pick up on. I didn't know, because you showed up. You showed up, and all I had was your words and your actions. But then to find out that you're actually a liar, and you basically manipulated the whole thing, you you just made it seem like emotionally I was in this alone when I clearly wasn't. Like we have the voice messages to prove it. We have this story that we're telling now. Like it just is what it is. And I honestly didn't appreciate everything that you put me through.
Go ahead, Deb.
The I don't like the point of the date though is almost like a crash course into getting to know somebody simply because the dynamic of what is happening, the fact that you are going back to California, you know, right after that date ended. So yeah, I'm trying to get to know you as much as possible quickly, to try to discern whether or not, you know, if this is something that we can continue to do, because it's not like I can be like, all right, that first date was cool. Let me see what you're doing in a couple of days. And then we go do something else. And then we go do something else. And then now, you know, that was 3 days of conversation that we squeezed into, you know, a 4 hour long first date. So I don't want to, I just feel like, I don't know, it kind of feels unfair because it's almost like you're acting like I didn't care when I was asking all those questions, but like there was a purpose to all those questions so I can get to know you, so I can make the decision on like how I felt about us moving forward. And you
Right.
can call me a liar. What did I lie about? What did I manipulate?
You manipulated the entire situation. You lied and said that you could afford your lifestyle and possibly move on to create a family. Then you come back
Sure.
and you say you had goals that I never heard about other than basketball and playing games, video games. So you lied about supposed goals. You lied about us not being able to come to a consensus of whether or not we wanted kids in the next few years or years later. You lied about that because you didn't come to me and ask me. It was like you just came up with some type of um, idea that it just wasn't going to work, and then you're expressing other things that I didn't even know. So you lied about that because you made it seem like, oh, it was just the timeline, but really you felt bad. You felt some type of way about me not going to the gym every day. Like it's like you're throwing these things out, but I had no idea the entire time because of how you came off, which is manipulative.
Right. But if I have all those conversations with you, then it's only going to make things like, say I have all those conversations with you, and then what it seems like is I'm really, really, really trying to make it work. And then I still come to that same conclusion, like, okay, the timeline still is not changing with the children. All that's going to do is make you feel like I manipulated you more. If I sit
But
there and I'm like, hey, this is how I feel about the gym. It's like, hey, can you do that? And so I just don't understand. You said I lied about like what could cybersecurity sustain me and a family.
Mhm.
Like that wasn't a lie. I just don't plan on stopping working anytime soon, or at least within like the next, like another year goes by and it's like I plan on this time next year I still plan on working the 3 jobs that I have right now.
and that's
So
why did you say? Why did you then say I don't I'm so far from where I want to be and I can't afford a family right now. Why'd you say that in the voice message then?
it wasn't
That's why
about supporting a family. What
I
happened what happens is I do have all these same goals, and then a
Mhm.
lot of times everything feels like they're on track, and then things kind of offset a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, there's no way, like there's no way I can shorten my timeline. That's really what it came down to. It was like there's no way I'm having kids before I'm 35. Like it was like there was no way, and then that's when I said that to you, because in my head I was like, no, there's no way, and I don't want you to feel, you know, like I didn't want that to become a problem in the future. Like I said before, like
right.
that
But
wasn't a different thing.
but
You said what?
you could have talked to me about that.
So I guess the problem, it sounds like, between the two of you is, Kyla, you felt like when he was sending you these voice messages, that was him being intentional, getting to know you more, and trying to work towards it. So when you were ghosted, essentially, you kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. Is that what you're trying to say?
It was a side swipe.
Okay.
It was so random because again he was in it. We were
Yeah.
both in it, and then like to say that emotionally there was a difference, that just doesn't make sense because that's just not what I picked up on. I can only take you for what you put out. Like
Hmm.
I didn't make this up.
And then Dev, so you're kind of saying that was you still kind of getting a feel for if this is something you wanted to dive into. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't feel like okay, like we matched, like this is it. Let's go get married. Like I don't think I can't control how I'm perceived. Like I have no control over that. But I don't think I was as invested as I would typically be in any situation. Like the only difference is the fact that I was trying to dig a little bit deeper than I typically would, just because the circumstances of everything.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I guess there was definitely a difference in that. I was interested. Like I wasn't interested, and I was just sitting there acting like I was interested the whole time. No, we had a great conversation. Anybody that asked me, I'm like, yo, we had coffee for 4 hours. They're like, damn. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, she's super cool. Like, the conversation was good. But then I gotta ingest all that information and then like decide what I want to do with it. And that's all that happened. I didn't mean to come off like, or I didn't mean to, I guess, give you the wrong impression with the way I was responding and the interest that I was showing. But I mean, it was genuine in that moment. Like,
all right. Well, just to go ahead and wrap this up, do you guys have any final thoughts that you want to say?
I had a question. So I got word that you actually did go out the night that you told me we weren't gonna meet up.
I did not. I swear to you on everything that exists.
Okay.
That's crazy. Who told you that? I came home, me and my brother, and he sat on this couch and went to sleep, and I went to my room and I went to sleep because I had to work the next day. I did not go out. I promise you I did not go out.
Okay.
I did not see any of those people from the show. I did not go out. I ate. I don't remember what I ate. Probably the same thing that I tell you I eat every night, and I went to sleep.
All right.
She stayed intentional and gave everything she had to someone who was still deciding if she was worth the effort. He, on the other hand, says he was just gathering information. Just few days after matching on the show, she broke down in tears while he was yawning through a voice message. And now they're both calling each other a liar. But here's the real question we need to talk about. Was Dev a liar who played with her feelings? Or was Kyla just too emotional and got invested too fast for a man she'd only known for a week? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes like these.